The sun was warm, casting golden rays upon the earth as the Buddha sat under the ancient Bodhi tree. Disciples gathered around, their faces serene, awaiting the words that would guide their lives towards peace and enlightenment. A merchant, adorned in fine robes, stepped forward, his face troubled with worry, and bowed deeply before the Buddha. "Blessed One, I seek wisdom," said the merchant. "Though my trade flourishes, my heart feels empty, consumed by doubt and fear." The Buddha gazed at him with infinite calmness. "Tell me, merchant, what drives your trade and ambitions in this life?" The merchant hesitated, lowering his eyes. "I desire success, prosperity, and security for my family, yet it weighs heavily upon my soul." The Buddha spoke gently. "A life driven solely by desire blinds one to the interconnected web of existence and the suffering it creates." He gestured to the trees around them. "Consider the trees. They grow, bear fruit, and provide shade without any thought of greed or gain." The merchant nodded, his brow furrowed with thought. "But how can I balance my livelihood and the needs of others without losing my way?" The Buddha smiled softly. "The balance lies in compassion. For your trade must uplift and nourish rather than exploit and harm others." He motioned to the disciples. "A river does not hoard its water. It flows, giving life to the soil and creatures around it." "Blessed One," asked the merchant, "if one achieves wealth but causes suffering, can their life be considered virtuous or fulfilled?" The Buddha's eyes reflected the sun's light as he replied, "A virtuous life mirrors the kindness and interconnectedness of nature. Master, I am willing to change my ways. But how can I cultivate compassion amidst the demands of my trade?" "Compassion begins within," the Buddha explained. "Sow its seeds in your heart, nurture them, and let their fruits guide your actions." The merchant frowned slightly. "I fear I may fail, for the pressures of the world tempt me to selfishness and greed." The Buddha rested a hand upon the earth. He spoke of the mind as a garden, where seeds of wisdom must be nurtured amidst the weeds of distraction. "Just as a gardener tends his plants daily," he said, "you must cultivate mindfulness and uproot the weeds within." "Master, what must I do to ensure my trade becomes an offering rather than a selfish endeavor?" the merchant asked. The Buddha answered, "Commit to honesty, integrity, and generosity, for these virtues transform business into a practice of compassion and mindfulness." He continued, "A leader within their trade must inspire others, acting as a beacon of kindness and interconnectedness through example." The merchant stood taller. "From this day forth, I will dedicate my work to creating harmony and uplifting the lives of others." The Buddha nodded. "Remember, the path is not without obstacles, but perseverance and mindfulness will strengthen your resolve." The merchant left the gathering with newfound purpose, his steps lighter, his heart filled with determination to practice compassion. Disciples witnessed the transformation, their faith in the Buddha's teachings deepened by the clarity of his wisdom and the merchant's promise. The Buddha turned to the disciples, his words resonating deeply. "A life guided by compassion enriches not only oneself but all beings within this interconnected web." His teachings echoed in the minds of those present, like ripples expanding outward in the tranquil waters of existence. Thus, the lesson of compassion was sown within their hearts, promising a harvest of understanding, kindness, and harmony in the years ahead. Another day, beneath the spreading branches of a banyan tree, the Buddha sat in quiet reflection, surrounded by his disciples. A gentle breeze carried the scent of blooming jasmine, and the air seemed alive with the promise of transformation. An artisan stepped forward, her hands roughened by her craft, her face lined with worry and doubt. Bowing before the Buddha, "Blessed One," she said, "I seek guidance, for my pursuit of perfection in my craft consumes me with fear and frustration." The Buddha turned, His gaze to her and picked up a clay bowl, examining it thoughtfully before addressing her concern. This bowl was formed with care, yet its surface is marked with imperfections, the Buddha said. His tone calm and measured, he held the bowl towards her, inviting her to observe it closely. The artisan noting every blemish and imperfection it bore. Tell me, the Buddha asked, does the bowl lose its purpose or usefulness because of these flaws upon its surface? The artisan hesitated, then answered softly, no, Master. The bowl holds water as intended. Its imperfections do not diminish its ability. The disciples felt their hearts lighten with the realization that even small progress mattered on the spiritual path. The Buddha's wisdom provided them clarity, empowering them to view life's challenges as opportunities. Does the bird sing to be praised, or does it sing simply because it is its nature to do so? Asked the Buddha. The artisan reflected deeply, recognizing the simplicity and truth in the Buddha's comparison to the bird's natural act. Work with diligence and care, the Buddha advised, but release yourself from the chains of fear and expectation. Master, the artisan asked, how can I let go of fear when it arises so naturally in the pursuit of my craft? The Buddha gestured to the flowing stream nearby. See how the water flows. Accepting each rock and bend in its path, he continued. Fear is like the rocks, obstacles in life's stream. Let them shape you, but never let them halt your flow. Master, the artisan said, I wish to let my craft flow naturally, but I fear it may lose meaning without perfection. The Buddha smiled kindly. True meaning lies in the effort and intention you bring, not in the illusion of perfection. He held the bowl once more. Let this bowl remind you that flaws are not barriers but paths towards understanding and growth. Do not fear imperfection, he said, for even nature itself embraces flaws as part of its infinite beauty and harmony. Blessed one. Asked the artisan, if fear arises again, what shall I do to overcome its hold upon my heart? The Buddha replied, turn your focus to the present moment, for it is fear of the unknown that binds and clouds the mind. He continued, your skill lies in your mindfulness, your presence within each step of your craft, bringing care and joy. The artisan felt the weight lift from her spirit as she absorbed the Buddha's wisdom with gratitude and understanding. I will strive to let my craft be an offering of care and joy. Master, said the artisan. Bowing deeply, the Buddha nodded. Remember, freedom comes from detachment, not from rejection. Accept imperfections as companions rather than adversaries. Another day, the Buddha and his disciples rested beside a serene lotus pond, its waters shimmering in the gentle sunlight. The tranquil surroundings seemed to mirror the serenity within the Buddha, as his compassionate gaze fell upon his followers. They sat in anticipation, waiting for his words to unfold wisdom that would illuminate their hearts. The Buddha began. Compassion arises from the stillness of a tranquil mind, like a lotus blooming unstained by the mud surrounding it. Thus, the lesson of detachment unfolded, promising peace and fulfillment through acceptance, effort, and freedom from the fear of imperfection. Another day, the Buddha sat upon a moss-covered rock by the riverbank, the water reflecting the golden hues of dawn. Disciples gathered in silence, their breaths steady, as the symphony of nature created a serene and sacred ambiance. A young leader approached, her eyes revealing both determination and the weight of countless responsibilities upon her shoulders. Blessed One, she began, bowing deeply, I seek wisdom, for the burden of leadership overwhelms my heart and clouds my mind. The Buddha observed her with compassion and said, leadership is not a crown. It is a path of service and connection. He gestured towards the river. Do you see how the water flows, embracing obstacles, nourishing the earth, and sustaining countless lives? The leader nodded. Yes, Master. But how does one lead with strength and fairness when decisions carry consequences for so many? The Buddha lifted a leaf, allowing it to drift upon the surface of the flowing river. Balance is essential, as is awareness. He continued, a leader must listen, for the voices of the people are like the current, guiding and shaping the stream. The leader sighed. Yet, Master, there are times when I must make bold decisions. Even when others resist and doubt my intentions. The Buddha smiled gently. Even a stream carves new paths when necessary, finding harmony in its boldness and humility alike. He paused, his gaze steady. Courage and humility are twins. They strengthen a leader's ability to serve and inspire without arrogance. The leader's shoulders softened as she asked, but, Master, how can I ensure that my leadership does not become a burden to others? The Buddha replied, compassion is the root of true leadership, for it transforms authority into a bridge that unites and uplifts. He pointed to the trees surrounding them. A tree provides shelter and shade without expectation, a silent example of selfless service. The leader contemplated this, seeking clarity. Master, if compassion guides me, how can I protect myself from doubt and fear in difficult moments? The Buddha knelt, cupping water from the river in his hands. Fear is a passing wave. Let your mindfulness anchor you within the present, he continued. A mindful leader acts with clarity and purpose, free from the turmoil of imagined fears and uncertainties. The leader bowed her head. Master, your words bring comfort. I will strive to serve with humility, courage, and unshakable mindfulness. The Buddha nodded. Remember, the path of leadership is not a solitary one. It is walked with and for others, he added. Surround yourself with wise counsel. For wisdom and unity strengthen a leader's capacity to navigate challenges and achieve harmony. The leader's expression brightened with gratitude. I will strive to lead not with authority but with the spirit of interconnectedness and selflessness. The Buddha gestured to the rising sun. As the sun shares its light without choosing, so must you lead with impartiality and purpose. The leader stood, her resolve renewed. Master, your teachings will guide my steps, and I will lead with compassion and mindful purpose. His words resonated deeply, inspiring his followers to embody compassion in all their actions. He spoke of a child lost in the woods, comforted by a stranger's kindness that restored hope to her troubled heart. Kindness, the Buddha said, is a language understood by all, transcending barriers and bringing healing to those who suffer. His story illustrated the universal power of compassion. Thus, the lesson of interconnected leadership unfolded, offering guidance for navigating the complexities of service, courage, and humble mindfulness. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.